Hello again. It's time to talk about part 5. The first 10 years. This is a good one. Flight of Icarus. The Trooper. What? Oh, such good stuff. Such good stuff. There's a whole generation of us, Maiden fans, who grew up saying Icarus, because in Live After Death, which we all saw 4 billion times and listened to 4 billion times, Bruce Dickinson says, "The flight of Icarus." So we all said Icarus instead of Icarus. Kind of weird. It's a good cover. It stops just short of being great, I think, because Eddie, it's a great idea for Eddie, but he's just kind of not really, I don't know, the details lacking or something. The face is not entirely encouraging. And I think that this was because they wanted to preserve the new look for the Peace of Mind album that this was going to come out on. Eddie was going to get locked up, get a lobotomy, this whole sort of thing. So they didn't want to do this yet. So they just sort of took the current Eddie from Number of the Beast era, threw him in there. But the updated artwork that they did for a couple tours ago is really nice. Another kind of cool thing about this, somebody pointed this out to me. I think it was the Talking Maiden podcast was talking about these. So there's a little dot up here. This little sort of thing. That's supposed to be the room that Eddie is in on the Peace of Mind cover, which is, a gatefold cover. And this padded cell where you can see this ambient light coming in. I don't know. Maybe this is a Paul is dead kind of thing. I don't know whether there's much to realize about it. And although this isn't a Peace of Mind episode that I'm doing here, it's about the single. And one funny thing that I noticed, because I wanted to sort of grab a couple of interesting things to show you, is the only cassette that I still have, the only store-bought, I still have lots of copied tapes and mixtapes and stuff like that, but the only store-bought Maiden one I have is Peace of Mind. And I didn't realize until this very day that it's flipped. That Eddie's facing in a different direction. They flipped the image to make it look better for the cassette crop. Isn't that funny? Never noticed it. You had to make all kinds of sacrifices when you would do the cassette thing. I know all the current generation of music fans has gotten all fetishistic about vinyl, and that's fine. Vinyl was a great format, so I guess it's okay. I haven't gone full into it, but I definitely see the beauty of it. There's certain things about vinyl I missed in the first place. But now they're like trying to bring back cassettes. That's just a bad look. Cassettes were always crap. The second that you would start to play one of these, a video cassette or an audio cassette, the second that you played it, it was already like degrading. It was already starting to get worse. So this is not a format to bring back even in a cute, kitschy, low-tech kind of way. But sometimes you'd actually get like a gatefold. I mean, we're on album 4 by now. They could kind of go to Capitol Records and be like, look, we want this to look good, or what have you. But, and lyrics and stuff like that, that's a little bit of a rarity. Sometimes these things would come like that. But so often you would make these compromises on the cover artwork, which is why people got really upset when CDs came along. They said, you're sizing down, this gorgeous vinyl to something like this. You're losing a lot. It never bothered me because it was an upgrade over cassettes. So artwork speaking, audio-wise, hands down, incredibly so. But that's enough about the cassette. this artwork I just can't get over, you know? One of their greatest tunes, Flight of Icarus. And, but this right here, probably, it's certainly the top three to top five. I would think it's probably locked up the greatest Maiden cover art title right here. It's so good, they used it on everything, you know? They, of course, would go on to do the beer and all that sort of stuff, but it really is, you know, kind of the one, probably the most iconic Eddie that people think of when they think of Maiden. This is a songbook. I got this on eBay many years later. Very frustrated. They never put out a bass version of this. This is the first 4 albums, all the songs. But it's kind of a crap one anyway because it wasn't done by, you know, a real serious guitarist. I think this was one of these things. This was Cherry Lane music. It wasn't Hal Leonard or anything like that. And I think that a lot of these songbooks that we would get to try and learn stuff from were pretty much like written by a piano player or somebody who figured out the songs and then said, oh, and this is what the chord would be that you would use on guitar. It wasn't really written with guitar in mind. They didn't understand the complexities of metal and all that sort of stuff. But the Trooper and so good. You know, it's funny when we were in the '90s, when late '90s, I'm starting to feel the pressure to make music pay instead of paying so much money to play music. Um, I convinced John that, like, oh, you know, we need to start getting paying gigs, you know, and so we were going to do the cover band route. And it was so funny. We were the worst cover band in the history of ever. Not because we didn't play well, or we didn't play the songs well. We played them quite well, actually. But we picked all the wrong songs because we only would pick tunes that we could bear to play, which is not what you're supposed to do in a cover band. You're supposed to play whatever is popular, and it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. But we couldn't really fully commit to that. So we would pick tunes that were, you know, popular but not insanely so, and they were all a little bit out of date. But the funniest thing, the reason I bring this up, is we were going to do a gig that our singer at the time had booked for us in Revere, somewhere in Revere. To this day, I have no idea where we were. And John was insistent that we play The Trooper because, as anybody who ever played with us or watched us or anything would say, we never went more than, you know, 20 minutes without playing a Maiden song, no matter what band we were in or what we were doing. And I was like, dude, this doesn't make any sense. We're supposed to be this cover band. We're supposed to be playing all this '90s alt crap and you know, post grunge, whatever. And it's like, no, 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 we got to play it. Everybody loves that. I was like, dude, you're still thinking like the '80s. Like, everyone doesn't love Maiden. I hate to tell you this. I know that we do, but everybody doesn't love it. They want to hear that stuff. Well, I don't know whether he was smarter than me or he was luckier than me that we were playing in Revere. Um, and because they ate that up. Oh my God, they went crazy. They sort of suffered our red hot chili peppers and whatever else we were sort of fumbling through. And then we finished off with the Trooper, and oh my God, the place went nuts. And he was so smug about it. Anyway, hope you enjoy the episode. Should be coming out later today, probably.